Welcome back to the lesson. In this video, we're going to be talking about the horizontal rule, the break, and the pre-formatted text in HTML. We're going to go ahead and start with the horizontal rule. So to create a horizontal rule, we use the HR tag. The HR element or tag is used to separate content in an HTML page. So let's go ahead and see some examples. Now let's come over here and say, for instance, we wanted to define a heading. Let's say h1. Let's add some content. This is heading 1, something like this. And let's come down below here and define some paragraphs and say this is a paragraph, something like this. Now let's go ahead and save our file. Save. As you can see, we have this is heading 1 and this is a paragraph. And now let's go ahead and copy this block of code. Copy, come down below here, paste it, and save our file. As you can see, we have another. This is heading 1 and this is a paragraph. Let's actually go ahead and change this to heading 2, and here should also be 2, heading 2, which is going to be the second important heading. Alright, so this is heading 2 and this is a paragraph. Or let's say this is another paragraph, something like this. Let's go ahead and save our file. As you can see, this is heading 2 and this is another paragraph. Now we can go ahead and use the horizontal rule or the HR tag to separate our content. So let's come in between our content right here and create a HR tag. This is basically an empty tag, meaning it doesn't have a closing tag. So now let's go ahead and save our file. Save. As you can see, we have a horizontal rule that divides or segments our HTML page content into 2 separate parts. So as I've mentioned already, the HR tag is an empty tag, which means that it has no end tag. So any tag without an end tag is called an empty tag. And any tag with an opening and closing tag, it's called an HTML element. Let me actually go ahead and add another HR, the horizontal rule down below here. Something like this. Let's go ahead and save our file. Okay, so friend, that's it about the HR or the horizontal rule in HTML. Now we're going to go ahead and move to the break tag, the BR tag. So if you want a line break, or let me say a new line without starting a new paragraph in HTML, then you want to go ahead and use the BR tag or the break tags. So let's go ahead and exemplify that as well. Now let's come down below here and let's go ahead and define a paragraph and let's provide some content. Let's say this is a paragraph with line break, something like this. Now let's go ahead and save our file. Save. As you can see right here, we have this is a paragraph with a line break, but we are not seeing the line break. Yes, of course, we need to go ahead and use the BR tag in order to apply the line break inside of our paragraph right here. So let's come over here and say we wanted to apply our BR tag right somewhere around here. Let's say line break with line break. So let's go ahead and say BR, something like this. Now it's going to break the line and take the line break down to the next line. So let's go ahead and save our file. Save. As you can see right here, we have this is a paragraph with line break. So immediately after our BR tag, the next text goes to the next line. We have a line break right after the width. So as you can see, the BR tag is also an empty tag, which means it has no end tag. It has no closing tag. Alright, so that's basically all about the BR tag or the break tag in HTML. Now we're going to go ahead and move to the last but not least in this video, which is the pre tag. Let me actually level this. Let's come over here. Let's use h2, heading 2, and say this is a pre tag. Something like this, pre tag. Alright, let's copy this. Let's level this as well. Let's call this the HR, the horizontal rule tag. And right here down below this one, let me level this one as well. Let's say, oh, this should be the pre tag. This should be BR tag. Sorry about that. Alright, now let's go ahead and save our file. As you can see, we have HR tag, we have the break tag, and here we're going to discuss about the pre tag. So remember in our previous video about paragraphs, we said that the browser automatically ignores extra white space and lines when the page is displayed. Let me actually go ahead and exemplify that as well. Let's use the paragraph, and we're going to say this is a paragraph. Let's hit enter, go to next line, and it contains a lot of lines, something like this. So if you remember correctly, if we were to go ahead and run our code, the browser will automatically get rid of the lines that we added right here. So let's go ahead and do that. Let's go ahead and save our file. As you can see, it went ahead to print our paragraph in a single line. So basically the display depends on the size of the screen. So if the screen is smaller than this, maybe it might go ahead and display it in 2 or 3 lines. But right now that the screen is big enough to contain the text in one line, then it went ahead and displayed in one line. So the HTML free element or tag defines pre-formatted text. The text inside a free element is displayed in a fixed width, and it preserves both spaces and line breaks. So now let's go ahead and use the pre tag instead of the paragraph. Now let's come over here and say pre, and the closing tag here should also be 3, something like this. Now let's go ahead and save our file. And as you can see, our line breaks are preserved. They are displayed exactly as we defined them in the source code. And we can as well go ahead and provide some spaces like so. And if we go ahead and save our file, as you can see, our space is also preserved, unlike using the normal paragraph tag. Let's go ahead and save again. As you can see, both our white spaces and line breaks are preserved using the pre-formatted HTML elements. Alright, so friend, that's all about the HR, the horizontal row, the break, and the pre-formatted tags in HTML. So I hope everything is clear to you and that you enjoyed the lesson, and I will see you in the next one.